we kind of knew something bad could happen. Bad actors can now manipulate large swaths of people to do anything you want.
Studies show 92% of teens go online daily.
People need to hard break from some of these tools and the things that you rely on. The short-term dopamine-driven feedback loops that we have created are destroying how society works.
How many special people change?
Punching, whipping,
and the way in which murder and mayhem command such high ratings that they suppress any real news.
A world where information is more readily available than ever, are we truly informed or are we being manipulated?
The opposite happened. In fact, the Senate passed it with unanimous consent, and Johnson is still mad about that.
I'm deeply disappointed in this outcome. I think I've been at the state dinner. I don't know. I was just told that Chuck Schumer rushed it to the floor and put it out there preemptively. It needed amendments. I just spoke to the president about that. We'll see what happens.
So do you think he may veto it? You say you spoke to the president?
I'm not saying that.
Is he supportive of it in its current form?
Disgraced multi-millionaire Jeffrey Epstein has died by suicide. This is according to numerous reports. Epstein was awaiting trial after being indicted on sex trafficking charges.
Lanier contends that sites like Facebook and Twitter are dopamine farms that are reprogramming how you think and feel. He says they're also causing political instability and are changing the global economy for the worse.
Slowly walking down the hall, faster than a cannonball.
The country's parliament ablaze earlier this week.
Los Angeles jury today finding Meta and YouTube negligent in the design or operation of their platforms.
And teens spend an average of 3.5 hours each day on these kinds of apps.
Feel more connected, but there's a negative side to that unchecked screen time, which can lead to poor sleep, memory issues, and poor overall mental health.
The thought process was all about how do we consume as much of your time and conscious attention as possible.
Facebook estimates it's more than 2 billion users spend about 50 minutes per day on its apps, including Instagram and Messenger.
The other day, my daughter came up to my wife and I and asked us if she could post a picture on social media.
How old is
my daughter is 5 years old.
Something we just have to count, we don't really know. The thing that struck everyone most that night, though, was when I casually mentioned that regardless of the number of neurons, our brains are actually shrinking.
Are more likely to think that the value of a reward goes down the longer you have to wait for it. The pursuit of constant pleasure can lead to anhedonia, the inability to feel pleasure of any kind.
The new law that would allow parents to block their children from getting social media posts suggested by a platform's algorithm.
Mr. Ortona, I really think that this is on a par with figuring out that cigarettes cause cancer.
How much time do you spend doing this? According to a survey, the average smartphone user scrolls the equivalent of 78 miles a year. That's 3 marathons. Maybe good exercise for your finger, but there is evidence it may be hurting your brain.
No civil discourse, no cooperation, misinformation.
Lines with mounted police. Those were the scenes near the Metropolitan Detention Center over on Alameda Street, where a group of agitators broke from the otherwise peaceful.
Honked horns and banged on trash cans while calling.
Violent anti-immigrant protests.
As tensions rise in the Irish capital, here's everything you
being shared on social media reveal a chaotic scene as up to 1,000 angry demonstrators gathered outside the City West Hotel on Tuesday night for a second night of protest.
Activist, a St. Louis alderwoman, and the president of the city's Board of Aldermen. These pictures courtesy of our partners at the Post.
Moment as protesters take over an entire neighborhood in Seattle